Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Mute me. You've mute me. Later, just tell them to bring it back. Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Hope our day is going on well. Hope everything is kicking and moving. Okay? So welcome. It's a raining December. Imagine rain falling in December. December 2025. Today is December 11, okay? 2025, and rain is falling. Not small rain, no. Flood rain. Welcome everyone. VOA, welcome. Today is one of those days you wish that I'm wishing that I am in VOA's condition. Well done. Okay. How is camp for those that are in camp? Madam Yetunde, you're welcome. Mr. Denny, you're welcome. Madam Kingsley Dove, you're welcome. Welcome, everyone. Madam Nike, you're welcome. Mr. Olanrewaju Yunusa, you're welcome. Welcome, everybody. Let's go to all our communities and let them know that we are live. Let them know that we are live here and direct. Okay? So, I want to specially welcome every one of us. And I'm just going to start with some few information. Please, let's still go to all our communities, let them know that we are live. So next week, today is 11th, so next week is our gratitude party. And please, I want to specially invite everybody to be at that gratitude party, please. Everybody should be at that gratitude party. Please, a special invitation, and everybody should be there. But the only way you can be there is that you can register to be there physically, or you can just join us online, okay? Because it's going to be hybrid also. So please try as much as possible to be there physically. It's just our own way of saying, Father, we thank you for all that you have done in 2025. We acknowledge God in all that we do. And for us, it is very, very, very important, okay? It's our yearly it's our own yearly activity, it's our yearly ritual that we do, right? We acknowledge God, we serve God, we believe in God, and there is no result that we have attained or achieved in 2025 that is not all about God. So for us, it is too important. It is too important. So we do not in any way joke with gratitude. So it is always gratitude all the way for us. So I believe the link for registration is within our community. So all you just need to do is to click on that link and register. We have limited space because we are just using our office. So we need to properly plan. There will be proper refreshment, right? And we have just limited window for registration. And please register. We don't just want you to show up without registering. So it is very, very, very important to register. I know that some of us are still at work. Probably some of us have church activity in this December. All of that is well understood, okay? But if you can make time out to be at that gratitude party, it will be well appreciated. So please, let's take note of that. And let's just, so it's more or less like our own grand special Realtors Forum, but it's to round up the year. So after the gratitude party, next week, which is 18, there will be a break, then we'll resume back in January. And there's going to be a whole lot of announcements too that we are going to be making that year. And one of such announcements is the fact that our year 2026 is our year of leverage. 2026 is our year of what? Leverage. Leverage is the language in 2026. You are going to be leveraging a lot of tools. You are going to be leveraging a lot of technology to make money. Leverage is the language in 2026, okay? So please, that's very important, and let us take note of that. So I'm still going to come back to the announcements. However, I just want us to go into the section that we have for today. Please, let's go to the section that we have for today. So we started a series about a month ago. That was like, We started in November. Yes, November. So we did part 1 to 3 in November. Over a month ago, then we had to take a break to go through the tax training. So how many of us enjoyed the last 2 weeks of tax training? So just signify, just type 2 if you enjoy it, or give us feedback on the tax training. I mean, it was mind-blowing. So, and the replay is still very much available on our Zoom, on our YouTube. So you can just go there and just enjoy the tax training. So please, feedback. Is anybody chatting? So if you know that the tax training was a good one and you learned something new, so please don't wait till 2025. Some of you need to go and get your pay ID, go and get it. That was the reason why we dedicated that 2 windows. We know it was not enough, right? It was just question after question after question, right? We knew that it was not enough, but we had to dedicate that 2 sessions, right? And we give everybody opportunity to ask questions. So what I want to advise you that you should do is that make sure that you go back and watch that video. Anytime you learn something new, you should always have what you should stop doing, start doing, and what I need to continue to do. One of the things we learned, which was very instructive, was the fact that we learned that we need to start keeping record. Record is very, very important, right? We also learned that narration too is king. So our narration needs to be stated properly. Those were some of the few things that we learned at the tax training, okay? And we also learned about tax exemption. What are the things that you can, what are the areas that we can get some of these that can be exempted from our tax? Because whether you like it or not, tax is coming. So ignorance will not be a defense. So Mr. God's Time Okereke is saying that thank you very much for that dedication. I now have my team. See, this is a testimony this is the kind of testimony that I want to hear. Okay, God bless you too for obeying. Because it's another thing to teach. It's another thing for people to obey. Right? Obedience, please, very, very important. So that it is not the day that you fall victim. You will now be thinking of the fasting and the prayer. Do you know somebody? Do you know somebody? You are not looking for network of people, right? You are looking for network of people that will need to help you out. So your tax, you need to pay attention to the issue of tax in 2026. Very, very important. So Mr. Rotimi Dowu, you're welcome. I celebrate you greatly. So I hope other people have taken advantage of that tax training. If you need the video replay, it is available in all our communities. Let us make sure that we get them and watch them over again and itemize your to-do. One of the most important November, which is now everything real estate. Everything real estate. If you can hear me loud and clear, just type 2 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, type 2 in the chat room. The number 2. If you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much. So, when we started this series, we've looked at so many things. We've looked at definition of terms. We've looked at why is land valuable. I think that's where we stopped. Okay. The replay is in the WhatsApp group already. So whichever WhatsApp group you belong, Mr. Rotimi Dowu, just ask for the replay of the tax training, part 1 and 2. If it's there already, but just ask, your community manager will repost it. In any WhatsApp group you belong, there's somebody there that will attend to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've looked at different things, and we've looked at definition of terms. I think that took almost forever. So whereas today also we are going to be looking at another thing that is also very, very interesting. So what we are looking at today is we are now going deep dive into how real estate can help you to create wealth, right? Some of you have touched it in the last session, but I'm going to be expanding it today. So I said number one is that land, which is the core of real estate. Land is the foundation of real estate. And please, for anybody on this call, you need to know the reason why we are doing this. I don't want, in 2026 is leverage. And one of the first things that we must leverage on is our knowledge. Knowledge bank is one of the things that we must leverage on. We don't want any realtor to enter into 2026 and there's everything. Okay, of course, because of time, we can touch on everything, right? But today, that's why I'm going to be touching on a lot of things. So today's session is going to be packed and deep, right? So you need to understand that the foundation of real estate is land. The foundation of real estate is land. That's number one thing that we need to understand, okay? And land also is the value carrier. Land is the value carrier. If you are ever doubting the fact that land is the value carrier, ask yourself, why do we then have a lot of activity of urban regeneration? If you doubt the fact that land is the value carrier, it is land that carries the value. It is not the building in itself, right? You can build a 5-bedroom duplex that will cost you 100 million to build. You can build it somewhere in Ikola, Agbado, in Lagos, outskirts of Lagos. And if you want to put it up for sale, it might be going for maybe 200 million or 250 million. You can build the same thing somewhere in Aja. If you want to put it up for sale, it might be going for maybe 500 million. The same thing, cost of building is the same thing. You can build the same thing in Banana Island, and it will go for 1.5 billion or 2 billion or 1 billion. Somebody say, is land that is cost. How come the land is cost? It's because land in itself is the carrier of value. And land is location specific. I can give you my architectural drawing. You can go and duplicate it anywhere, but I can't give you my land to go and duplicate anywhere. I don't know whether somebody is getting this morning. Are we flowing this morning? So I can give you my architectural drawing, structural drawing, go and duplicate it anywhere. I can't give you the land to go and duplicate anywhere. So that is the reason why land is the real carrier of value. Then we said land is the basis of all wealth and security and inheritance that cut across all generations. Okay, I've said it several times. I think the last time I was teaching this, I used Queen of England as an example, for instance, that when she died, then there was an asset that she passed down to the grandchild, which is the current crown prince. And as at that time, the value of that asset was that property. That property has spent over 1,000 years in their family, over 1,000 years. You see, this real estate thing is a long-term game. Over 1,000 years, that property has spent in their family. Over 1,000 years. And do you know the funniest thing? When she passed it down to the next generation, as at that time, that property, the valuation was about 890 million pounds, almost £1 billion. And because they are the queen, the royal family, they do not pay tax, right? So that property generates 25 million pounds every year. Generates 25 million pounds every year. That's the power of real estate. So it's the foundation of everything. So when it comes to inheritance, one of the best things that you can give and pass down from generation to generation is assets, right? Real estate asset, land, okay? And it's one asset that never depreciates, keeps appreciating. Look at the concept of urban regeneration. Look at places like Yaba, for instance, right? We see them in Butte Meta, Surulere. There are houses that were built, bungalows that were built many, many years ago. Even at some point too, Ikoyi, in fact, Ikoyi is going through that metamorphosis, right? At some point, those places were built, population density was quite low. But now you see those houses did not match the right value again. So they pulled those buildings down. More capacity for those units. More capacity. Okay. Appreciating. So while all things fade and decay, land endures forever. Land appreciates forever. Very, very important. Okay, so let's now move forward. So why will land will always be the king? Why land will always be the king? Why land will always be the most valuable of it all? Why? What makes land that valuable? What makes land that valuable? What makes land that valuable? Okay, so in no particular order, number one, we do not have the technology for us to keep manufacturing more land. We do not have the technology for us to keep manufacturing more land. We do not have the technology for us to keep manufacturing more land. So land will forever keep adding value. Number two is that population growth. Population keeps growing. Population keeps growing. The world population right now was not the world population 50 years ago. And that will not be the world population. In fact, if you have ever watched all these future movies, you will see that every prediction always keeps stating that the world population is going to explode. In fact, there was a statistic that I had, and it was mind-blowing. I think it was last week or early this week. He said, last year, 2025, can I have our attention, please? Everybody, give me this attention for 1 minute. In 2025, in the whole of Europe, Western Europe, let me use the word Western Europe now. In the whole of Europe, right, 6.5 million children were given birth to. In the whole of Europe, 6.5 million children were given birth to. In the whole of Nigeria, 9.5 million children were given birth to. Look at Europe versus Nigeria. Look at the way population is growing in Africa. Europe that has all the infrastructure. Look at in the whole of 2024, right? 6.5 million children were given birth to. Look at the whole of 2024, the whole of Nigeria. So Nigeria had more population growth than the whole of Europe put together. Let me now shock you. That's not even what I knew that already. But you know that about half of the 6.5 million children that were given birth to in Europe were given birth to by immigrants. In fact, when I saw it, I was like, wow. Okay, so the population, what that automatically means is that places like Africa, this dirty demand, there's something called IJB, this and something like that. I just got back, IJ, something like that. IJJB. So there's going to be a lot of I just got back. People born in Europe that are coming back to Nigeria to come and so the opportunities are enormous. Enormous. Opportunities are what? Enormous. Okay? So no new land can be manufactured, right? The population keeps growing, especially in places underdeveloped worlds. Okay? So land appreciates even when currency fails. The funniest thing is this. If you want to see, permit me to use this word, crazy increase in value. Look at all the country that has devalued their naira. the prices, the rate of devaluation and the rate of increase in the value of land is something else. That's the power of real estate. So number 4, like I said, in no particular order, real estate equates edge against inflation. Real estate equates edge against inflation. So this afternoon, let's quickly look at what are the core reasons why real estate will help you to build wealth. What are the core reasons? The main reasons. Number 1 thing is appreciation. Appreciation. It will keep increasing. It will not increase in terms of volume, but it will increase in terms of value. About 2 months or 3 months ago, I met a man. He owns a property somewhere in Maryland, Onigbongbo. So he was sharing the story of how when Onigbongbo was a village, so Maryland in Lagos, Nigeria. So there's a town very close to Maryland called Onigbongbo. Okay, so Onigbongbo is actually the place, the name of that environment, okay, but Maryland is more popular. So he mentioned when the place was a village. In fact, I never knew, he was even telling me that the same house that he wanted to sell in that same Maryland was actually built from mud. So that place was Agbole. So he said, so the shape of the land was very irregular. I was asking him, well, how come the shape of this, your land is very irregular? I was just asking the man, we met and we're having a conversation. He said he knew that I'm a real estate person, so can I help him to sell and all of that? So I was just having that conversation with him. So he now told me the story of how he bought that place. He said when that place was becoming developed and the people realized that they cannot have Agbole. I don't know can somebody help me with the interpretation of Agbole in English in the chat room? Please, somebody should just help me. So compound, family compound, basically. So they share the family compound among the people. So one of the people they share the family compound to, right, now sold his own part. And you know, if you have ever been to a family compound, you know it's not well layout. Community house, okay, yeah, something like that, community compound. So the person, they just cut his own portion, so he fenced his own portion out. And because the land looks like a pentagon that looks like a triangle, 5-side, but it looks like a triangle, very, very terrible shape. So I was just advising the man on how to go about it and all of that. So he was sharing stories of the time he bought the place. He bought the place almost 50-something years ago. Said the place was bush, even though development was coming close by, but he said it was bush 50-something years ago. That particular location, even though the whole area was already developed, rather, but that place there was still bush, they still had shrine, they still have all those things in all those places as at that time. Okay, so it keeps appreciation, and because land will not forever be available in the places we desire it, so there's always scarcity, and because it keeps appreciating, it's just a matter of time. Like I mentioned in the first set of classes we had in this series, that investment, when it comes to investment, the strength of investment is basically taken from time. Time is what we are trading on. So the younger you start, the earlier you start, the better it is for you when it comes to investment. Are we together? So the earlier you start, the younger you start, the better it is for you. So basically appreciation. Then number 2 is cash flow. Cash flow. In fact, one of the things that we are going to be doing in 2026 in terms of leverage is this. This cash flow thing, we are going to hammer on it a lot. Because as for us as consultants, you need to understand that, see, anybody that you are helping to buy property, help them to also think of how they rental income. Number 3 is leverage. Okay, leverage. One of the reasons why real estate will help you to create wealth is leverage. Number 4. So how does leverage work? So leverage is basically, you can always, whatever asset you have, you can always lay it to raise more capital. You can always use it as the equity to raise more capital and do bigger things. That's where the concept of JV comes in. That's where the concept of REIT comes in. A whole lot of concepts. Okay, time will not even permit me to touch on that. Okay, so then next is tax benefits. Tax benefits, right? Keep acquiring, especially now that because one of the training that we might have to really look at is this. What is the tax implication for people that hold property in Nigeria? Because see, the model Nigeria is going, we are using right now in terms of our tax law and all of those things, are more structured around the Asian tigers, the Singapore, the Taiwan, the all those countries that developed in these centuries, in these early centuries, not the America, the British, no. Those are more of the tax law that we are now looking at. So, and those tax law benefit people that buy property more. Right? That's why for the very first time, we now have exemption on tax, on rent, like we were taught last week and 2 weeks ago. Okay? So we need to understand it. So as a consultant too, you need to now look at it. What is the tax benefit that this new tax act is? See, that alone can make you be a giant real estate salesperson in 2026. You can even organize a seminar if you all have the knowledge already. How buying tax can help you to escape, how buying real estate can help you to escape tax in 2026. That can be your own way of getting more leads. Okay, then number 5, which is legacy and impact. I always say this jokingly. If you want your picture to be hung on the wall when you die, and your great-grandchildren will be telling them, that man is a good father. Leave inheritance, and the best inheritance you can leave. Look at me. I'm still sharing the story of how Queen Elizabeth has died now. I think it's almost 3 or 5 years. How he left inheritance for his son. Grandson, not even son. His son is the current king now. Okay? So inheritance is very, very, very important. I shared the story of Mary Kay. Okay? Mary Kay, for those, most women that knows Mary Kay Cosmetics. She's the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. So they do pancake, lipstick, all those things. They were very popular some couple of years ago. I don't know whether they are still very popular because that's not my ministry. Right? They were very, very, very popular. So the grandchild of Mary Kay asked the son of Mary Kay that why is it that they always ask, everywhere, the picture of grandma is, Mary Kay is a woman, is hanged everywhere. And the father explained that, see, real estate, the reason why you have the lifestyle that you have is because Mary Kay left inheritance because of that woman hanged on the wall. Okay? Your father might have not had poverty in your lineage. Your grandfather might have not had poverty in your lineage, but you can end poverty in your lineage by having real estate. The reason why knowledge is very important. The reason why we are teaching, so that you to be able to teach it. Equip with this knowledge. Okay? Very, very important. So the next thing we are looking at, let's quickly look at is there are other businesses. There are other business ventures, there are other businesses that what they are actually doing is real estate business as the back end, okay? Not at the front end. Let me give an example. Perfect example is our bank, Nigerian banks. What most Nigerian banks at some point were actually doing real estate business. And a lot of people don't know. Let me give you an example now. Most of those branches you see that those banks have at some point, for those that were in the business or you were at a working age 10 years ago, 8 years ago, or 15 years ago, you notice that banks were, after consolidation of Soludo era, They were opening a lot of branch. It was competition. Any major road in Lagos like this, you just see bank. 4, 5, 6, 7 banks will just open on that road. What they were doing then was they were amassing real estate assets, not because those branches were actually very profitable. They were doing what? Amassing real estate assets, because those assets were bought at very low prices. They'll sort out their documentation, put it on their balance sheets. It increased the valuation of their banks, because most of those banks were liquid, and Nigerians, they were not giving out loans. They were just using those money to buy assets for the company. Okay, so at the back front end, you were thought most people think they were doing banking because they wanted to reach the unreached. It is of recent we realized that you can actually reach the unreached. Look at OPay, for instance. Look at Kudas. All these banks, they brought in technology. They didn't bring in physical infrastructure. They brought in technology infrastructure. And look at almost everybody has one of those digital banking this thing. I was somewhere yesterday, wanted to buy something, and the guy wanted to pay. And because you need to pay, they need to confirm your payment before you can leave. And the man now said, UBA. The person that wanted to pay said, you don't have money point, you don't have OPay, you don't have, he was mentioning all these banks. Said, because if I send you money, me, I can't wait to whether allowed to come in or not. As I'm sending you, they are debiting me, you must be seeing it, I need to leave. And it got me thinking that, imagine now the standard of instant payment is not the old generation bank, it's not Zenith Bank, it's not First Bank, it's not all those banks. That's the power of technology, leverage. Okay, so also most of the, look at McDonald's, for instance. McDonald's was spreading so wide in America at some point that a lot of people don't know that there are two sides to McDonald's. In fact, I want to advise everybody on this movie, on this call, to go and watch the movie. I think the name of the movie is McDonald's also. I explain the history of McDonald's. So what? So it's very interesting. These guys had an interesting idea of cooking. The founder, Mr. James. Mr. James, you are too much. I need to find something. You just, the founder is the name of the movie. Please, everybody should go and watch it. You will understand real estate and other dimension. So these guys had the idea of cooking. They were passionate about what they were doing. And they met somebody. I feel like praying a prayer that in 2026 you will meet somebody that will help you to expand your idea. So they met this guy, and the guy told them that, see, there's a way to do franchise, that you will be the one to hold the name, because it's not just about the name, but you will own the assets, the real estate assets. So it will be easy for you to distribute your name everywhere. Right? It will be easy. So after the guy came in, put in structure, McDonald's just blew everywhere. So the back-end business of McDonald's moved from selling food to owning real estate, and they were collecting rental income from it. Okay? So for instance now, Amazon is another model. Amazon does not own the product that it is selling. In fact, there was a documentary I watched on Amazon. I can't remember the name of the documentary right now. But in that documentary, they were actually using that documentary to attack Amazon. But because I'm a business person, I saw it in a different way. Amazon basically owns real fleets of real estate assets in form of warehouses. Okay, let's take for instance now, you want to sell this thing. Amazon will charge you for posting this thing on their website. But part of the cost element of what they are charging you is the amount of time. You know, this thing will pass through Amazon warehouse. Even though you are selling this thing, do you know that there is a portion of the amount they are charging you that is paying for rent of that warehouse? I don't know how to really explain this thing. Let me use Mr. James as an example now. Mr. James wants to sell this thing. I hope some of us are getting things because I want our brain to. So when you are talking to prospects, when you are telling people to buy land, when you are telling people to buy, you be giving them ideas. You know. So this particular thing, let's say Mr. James posts it, and Mr. James sells it for 1,000 naira. I don't know how much they sell this thing actually. It's a phone stand. Because he sold it on Amazon. Amazon will have their own cut from it. But that cut, let's say Amazon cut 25% from it. That's 250 naira was given to Amazon. In that 250 naira, Mr. James, part of that invoice is that it shows that because this product passed through an Amazon warehouse. Let's say it passed through a Bagada warehouse, or let's say this office is the warehouse of Amazon. From that money of 1,000 naira he sold this, Mr. James he rent. It might be maybe 2 naira or 5 naira. But imagine if 1 million products passed through and every one of them paid 100 naira or 200 naira. 1 million products passed through in 1 year. That's 250 million in rent. That's an Amazon model, for instance. Okay? Look at hospitals and schools, for instance, too. Do you know that there's Marriott. Marriott is a GRA. Marriott is a brand, right? Somebody built that structure and invited Marriott in. He owns the real estate, but Marriott comes and manage everything. His own is the real estate. He owns the real estate. In fact, he's expanding his real estate portfolio. So second Marriott is coming to GRA now. But Marriott will come. Marriott will be the one to operate, will be the one to everything, but Marriott is paying him rent. And that's how most hotels and hospitals work. How many of us have noticed, let me shock us again, let me shock us with this one. How many of us have noticed a lot of foreign schools coming to Lagos? There's one in Lekki, there's a charter house in Lekki. There is another one. In fact, charter house is Shice Play. The one in Lekki is Shice Play. There is one in Ruby. I think that's their name, Ruby or something like that. In Eco Atlantic. Do you know the model those people use? Somebody owns the infrastructure. Somebody owns the school. Right? That is real estate. So all these enterprises are actually, so they are companies. For instance, now there is an insurance, because this is going to go public and all of that. I don't want to mention it. There's an insurance company. There's a popular hotel brand in Lagos that insurance company are the owner. In fact, because I'm a member of Rotary Club, so our club holds meeting regularly in one of those hotels. And I would just be thinking, that imagine that insurance company, they don't have time to be doing advert everywhere like all this or that. I just one corner there, maybe once in a while they just sponsor 1 or 2 programs. Series of those hotels. Cash flow for them. But you won't see their name. You won't see their name. You won't see their name anywhere making noise. No. That is strategy. Somebody say strategy. I know that some of us have questions and comments. Please, let's type them. We'll go back to them shortly. So if you are thinking of financial freedom, think of real estate. If you are thinking of impact, creating job, think of real estate. If you are thinking of legacy, think of real estate. I've shared my own story several times, how real estate helped me to become who I am today, not just because of anything, but real estate is the tool for me, okay? Real estate is the tool for me. So I don't joke with real estate at all. I don't joke with real estate at all. It's the foundation and it's the fundamental for me. Okay? So help your clients. All this knowledge that we have empowered you with, help your client to use it as a tool to develop strategy in 2026. Imagine with everything we have shared right now. Imagine you sit your customer down. I'm painting a picture in your head now. Maybe somebody that has bought 2 or 3 plots from you and just say, can I have your attention, please? Can I just have 1 hour session with you? And just say, see, these are strategies. These are things you can do in 2026. I'm not saying you should do it, but as you enter into 2026, these are strategies that you should implement in 2026. Let me give you another strategy. Look at all this old noise of that come up and people are complaining. So when people are complaining, I'm always just thinking, a lot of people are complaining that hotels are overcharging, and all of those things. And please listen to this very carefully. In fact, this might be your key takeaway. Anytime you feel that the price of a thing is going up and the price is not coming down, there is a simple economics in play. There is a demand. There's what? A demand. You see the price keep going up, keep going up. Let me give, for instance, now, in the last couple of 2 things, price have gone up significantly. Petrol price of power has gone up significantly, right? Let's take petrol for example. Have you ever seen, even with petrol at almost 1,000 naira in Nigeria now, let there be small scarcity, people will still be willing to pay 2,000 naira per liter. Because there is a demand and there's no substitute. There's not enough supply. Because if there's enough supply that is cheaper, right, then people will go back to alternative. So also, look at now, a lot of people are complaining. Hotels are overpriced, shortlet are overpriced. Those things during this December window. The reason is this: there is demand for it. There is what? Demand for it. So you can first of all sit your prospect down and say, see, are you thinking of having a rental income, rental property? Because there's something Lifepage is about to introduce in 2026 and I want you to position for it. Can you start stacking up assets that you can sell later in the future to buy your own house that will give you rental income? By the time you open your mouth, and those are the kind of value proposition that comes out from your mouth to a prospect, they will respect you more. So when they want to take that decision, or they have a friend that wants to take that decision, you are the one that they will call. I don't know whether some of us are getting some of these things at all. Okay? You are the one that they will call. So as I begin to round up, one of the things I want us to really, really pay attention to is this. Number 1, land ownership, real estate ownership is all about production, productivity, and prosperity. Land ownership is all about protecting your wealth. It's all about productivity, and it's all about prosperity. Okay? Protection, prosperity, productivity, prosperity. Number 2, takeaway that I want you to take away is that start small. Even if it's a plot of land, anybody that you want to, anytime you are having a conversation with your consultant, let them know, see, all these things that I've told you, just advise them. You can start small. You can do what? Start small. Start small. However, they can stack up. They can start small, but they can stack up. What do I mean by stacking up? Stacking up basically means that it's like you are laying the foundation and you are putting block on it. It's one block per time. Let go. If you let go per time. Okay? Then, number 3 takeaway is this. Build cash flow mentally. Every time you are buying property or selling property for your customer, always preach the sermon of cash flow. What can they do? Think, to you to think. How can I help this my property customer? How can I help them to start thinking of cash flow? Okay? How can you help your customer to start thinking of cash flow? Number 2 is that, number 1 is what land ownership is all about: protecting your wealth, increasing your prosperity, increasing your productivity, and posterity. Number 3 is starting small. Teach your customer how to start small. Then number 3 is cash flow. Always help your customer to think of how they can get cash flow from whatever they have. Then number 4, which is the last thing, is this. Real estate is the only tool that can help you create wealth and also retain wealth. Let me repeat it. Real estate is the only tool that can help you create wealth and also retain wealth. Real estate is the only tool that can help you create wealth and retain wealth. I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that real estate is one of the things that can help you create and retain wealth. Okay, that's where I'm going to be dropping it today. Then hopefully we'll continue very, very soon. Okay, but like I said, let me start with announcements. Let's go to comments so I can pick 1 or 2 things from the comments. Okay, I think we've read all these ones. Okay, and they are reducing African population. Go. Not all the young bank have arrived. For instance, Alert OP, the best stand to correct. They are top notch, okay? Similarly, Kazim says, yes, real estate profit did not come from cent on burger. It comes from the real estate ownership. Okay. The power of compounding effect. Okay. Madam Yetunde, let's go to Madam Yetunde's comment. Real estate is the only tool that can help you retain and create wealth. Thank you very much, everyone. So let's quickly listen to the following announcement as we round up today. So like I mentioned earlier, how many people do we have in the room? 35. Okay. So please, let's take note of this. Like I mentioned earlier, that next week is going to be the last class for the year. In 2025, our year of building momentum. Okay. So please, very, very important. And that next week is going to be our gratitude party. It's our yearly way of thanking God. So there's going to be physical session and there's also going to be an online session. So please, 18th, the session starts by 12 noon. So let's register. There's a link for registration. I will tell them to also circulate the link for registration again so that we can quickly look at it one more time. Okay. Very, very important. Okay. We are going to be making a lot of announcements at that event. So you can join online if you can't come physically. From 2026, our Realtors Forum is going to take a new format. I don't want to announce it here. So please, let's attend that event. Very, very important. And also, most of us, we got a mail. So there's a private placement offer that is available for all existing customers and all existing partners too. So partners, you can extend it. It's private placement offer. I won't say more than that. So please, if you get the mail, so that's why there's no publicity for this thing. That's why I didn't want to announce that. So for those that got the mail, that means you have an active email with Lifepage. So it's actually meant for customers to buy a particular location, at a particular price, and it's just outright for this December only. So it's still very, very much available so that they can take advantage of it. So in case you have any customer, all your customers must have gotten that email. And also please note that Gulf District is still very much available, and the countdown has started already. So please, for anybody that's interested, let them know that. And also please note real estate conversation continues tomorrow. So we are going, in case you have anybody that wants to buy any of our products, so please let them join us tomorrow. And for anybody that is interested in the fractional home ownership, US fractional home ownership scheme, so please, all the details too are available. Videos, we had powerful section last weekend, right? So they are also very much available. And land is still very much available at Almond County, Mowe, and Ashford County in Gwagwalada. And please note, I've explained this already. For office, for anybody that wants to come to office, the last working day is going to be 23rd. I think that should be Tuesday. That's the last time we're going to be coming to the office physically, right? So it's going to be remote work till second Tuesday. I think we've sent that mail. So please, I don't have the date. Let me quickly check calendar so that I can be sure. So that mail and the details will still be, yes, 23rd will be the last working day. Then we are going to be resuming back on the 6th physically in the office. 6th, right? So please, so from 24th to 5th is remote work, okay? So please, let's take note of that. So in case anybody wants to have anything to do with us in the office, let's pay attention to all of those dates so that we can get those details. Then please take advantage of our phone numbers, our official numbers. If you have any complaint, you want to reach out to anybody, 0906-5747 and 0906-5737 are our official details. Then also, please note the tax, your tax number, send it to the office unless you don't collect commission from 2026. No tax number, no commission. No tax number, no commission. They're ringing the bell. So please, let's pay attention to all of that. Okay. So I think we have a question. Madam Sandra says, good afternoon. Thanks for wonderful teaching, sir. Please, my client is around and they want to see their land which they have not been allocated before. And you know the rights, Madam Sandra, you know the rights. You have my number, you have our official numbers. Because I don't know which land you're talking about. Okay, just chat any of our official numbers up on WhatsApp. Drop message for me on WhatsApp too right now. We'll look at how we can arrange for all of that. That one is not a problem at all. Okay. Okay. I think that will be all for now. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm very happy that we finished on time. Oh, sorry, there's another question. Good afternoon. Which one is no commission? Can you clarify this? Yes, tax. We need your pay ID. We need to pay your withholding tax from January 2026. If you don't have pay ID, tax identification number, there won't be any commission. We will not pay you commission. That's what it means. From 2026, Lifepage is law-abiding and law-compliance company. So please, thank you very much. Let's have a great and wonderful afternoon. See you all next week.